how was the preparation? Every single day, how much time you were dedicating?
From December to February 15, because side by side I am also doing a part-time job, so 9 to 5 I go over there.
When you're reading the book, so what was the order?
There was one mistake by me. First I started with liquidity risk.
And then after April 15, what were you doing?
After April 15, I was giving 5 days to each book.
In those 3 mocks, what was the average score you were getting?
In GARP mocks I was getting around 50-52, and in Fintelligents one I got 60.
Till when you reached to the exam, till that time, the entire Swagger book, how many times you must have read?
Like for
Oh, that.
every subject I read it 4 to 5 times. It was only in liquidity risk that I could read it for 2 times. Yes.
And did you flag any particular question to look again?
Yes, I flagged 6 to 7 questions, but then I could not go back and look at those.
Now, if I ask you from your experience, any 3 tips of how to prepare for FRM level 2, what would that be? Hello guys, hi, this is Ganesh Nayak. I help finance professionals and students to excel in their career and become a better version of themselves. And I also help students preparing for their competitive exams in finance like CFA, FRM, and SCR. I have with me right now one of my students who has been able to clear FRM level 2 in the May 2024 attempt. Okay, and she's going to be talking about her journey of preparing for the exam. So, Prisha, thank you very much for joining in. And if you can uh, introduce yourself to the audience with respect to
Yes.
when you started preparing for level 2, what were you doing? And when did you clear level 1?
So when I started preparing for level 2, I was in my semester 4 of graduation, and I cleared my level 1 in August 2023. Started for level 2 in December 2023.
Okay, and from that day onwards, how was the preparation? Every single day, how much time you were dedicating?
From December to February 15, because side by side I am also doing a part-time job, so 9 to 5 I go over there. So till
Hmm.
that time I was studying for around 2 hours daily, but then after Feb
Okay,
15 I was studying like for 5 to 6 hours daily.
okay. And
Yes.
you were only reading the treasure book and the videos, going through the
Yes,
videos.
Facebook and your videos.
Okay, did you refer to GARP main book by any chance?
No, it was only your guidance. You said Shwezer,
And
so
this,
just
okay,
I just did Shwezer.
when you're reading the book, so what was the order?
There was one mistake by me. First, I started with liquidity risk, but then when I started, it was like initially I was getting very much bored in that book, so I
Okay,
changed the book, and
okay,
then I started with market risk. Then I did operational risk, and then after that I did credit risk, because till that time you started with credit risk, and then
right,
investment, and then in end I completed the left out chapters of liquidity risk. But then for liquidity
okay,
risk, I could not revise much in end. You told me that do it in first, but then because it was getting boring for me, so I did it in last, and
okay,
that created some problem for me.
okay, got it. And with
Yes.
respect to the question bank, so when did you started solving the question bank?
After I took leave in Feb 15, then I started.
Okay, and every week,
Yes.
how many chapters you were solving?
Till Feb 15, I did only 20 chapters. But then I took the leave, and even after that 15 days, it was like only 30 chapters were completed. Then I panicked,
Okay,
and after that, every week I was doing 8 to 9 chapters.
okay, okay. So in the month
Yes.
of April, you completed all. Did you completed all the question bank?
Yes, I
April,
completed. After Feb 15, yes. In April, I completed everything.
and
Yes.
till that time, you are watching the video and reading the textbook for all 100 chapters were also done, and the solving was also
Yes.
done till April 15.
Yes.
Okay,
By April
and
15, everything was done.
and then after April 15, what were you doing?
After April 15, I was giving 5 days to each book. I was reading
Okay,
every book, and again, like when I did the question bank, I marked the questions where I was going wrong. So I again saw
okay,
those questions, and even the questions which were right, I just overviewed them and read the Schweizer, and like that, book by book, I completed all that, and that was completed by May 10, and May
and
22nd was my exam.
and what about sectional test? Did you give any sectional test during that period?
I gave sectional tests for each book. After May 10th, when I was revising for third time, I did all the sectional tests.
Okay, okay. And how many mock
Yes.
papers did you solve?
I solved 3 mock papers.
Okay, GAP sample paper,
Yes.
two GAP sample paper.
Yes. 2 GAP sample paper and one Fintelligence, and one paper of Intelligence. I just overviewed that paper.
Okay. In those 3 mocks, what was the average score you were getting?
In GARP mocks, I was getting around 50, 52, and in Fintelligents one, I got 60.
Okay, cool. And so overall, by looking at these numbers, you were confident that okay, you will clear the exam.
Yes, I was confident, but then when I gave the GARP mock for the very first time, I think I scored 48 or 49. So I was little scared. But then when I did other two mocks, so I was confident. Yes, I will be able to crack it.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
And on the day of the exam, where was your center?
Center was in Ahmedabad.
Okay. And you
Yes.
went to the center before that. What was the confidence level that you will clear the exam?
Yes, I was very much confident that I will clear the
Okay.
exam. It was just in current issues that I was little bit afraid because I did that book in very end. So I was like, just I have to like I was like I should get some three or four quartile over there. I was very scared, but then when results came, I saw that it was two. So I was myself shocked.
Okay. Okay. And
Yes,
till when you reached to the exam, till that time, the entire Schweitzer book, how many times you must have read?
I read Schweitzer book around 4 to 5 times. Like for
Oh, in fact.
every subject, I read it 4 to 5 times. It was only in liquidity risk that I could read it for 2 times.
Okay, wonderful. And
Yes,
which book you found difficult in the entire preparation
credit,
journey?
credit
Okay.
risk, credit risk.
Credit risk.
Yes.
Okay. So you, and how did you tackle that book?
Even in exam, I got three quartile in credit risk. So I was majorly focusing on theory part because that was my strength. So I thought that if I will not be able to cover a practical part, but then theory part would save me. So I was mostly focusing on reading the Schweitzer more.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
and
And
even in operational book, I was like I was not able to remember whole content. So 1 month before exam, my strategy was before sleeping every day 1 hour I will read that book.
okay. And
Yes.
on the day of the exam, you started solving. So how much time? What all things happened in the first 1 hour?
First 1 hour was very good for me because I was able to because I tried to do 25 questions, so everything was going very nicely. Till third hour also everything was going on nicely. But in fourth hour I was not able to pick up the speed.
Okay. And you were able to
Yes.
complete all the 80 questions in 4 hours.
Yes, I was like 4 hours completed and my last question completed. It was like that. Dot
Okay.
4 hours. Yes.
And did you flag any particular question to look again?
Yes, I flagged 6 to 7 questions, but then I could not go back and look at those
But you had
questions.
marked the solution for those questions.
Yes, but I had marked the solutions. Yes, I marked
Yes.
a close guess and I marked it because I was not sure that will I be able to come back and do it. So I marked it. Yes,
And with respect to the overall, okay, overall perspective of the exam,
yes.
what was it? How many theory, how many calculation questions were there?
Seven. It was around 60 to 60 20. 60 questions were theory and 20 were practical for me.
Okay, and practicals were easy or tough?
They were tough. They were from credit risk mostly, and from other books, practical questions were easy, but majorly from credit risk only practical questions were there, and they were tough because they were from Merton model, and even that was confusing. Like it was
Okay,
not a straight question. It was little bit confusing.
confusing. Okay, and
Yes.
if I ask you to bifurcate on the basis of your experience, out of 80 question, how many was very tough, how many were medium, and how many were easy?
Like 45 questions were there in which I was very confident, and
Mhm.
then 10 to 15 questions were close guess and others were very tough. Yes.
Now, when you came out of the exam, what was the confidence level, and what was the number in your mind that okay, I'll get this much correct?
I was confident on 48, 49 questions, but then
Okay.
others I was like I don't know whether they will be correct or they would be wrong, but mostly some of them were close guess, so I was like I will be able to pass.
Now, if I ask you from your experience, any three tips of how to prepare for FRM level 2, what would that be?
First is start timely, like start 6 months before because I started it late, and then there were things like I had to speed up a lot in end. So it would be better that we start around 6 months before.
Hmm.
Second thing is consistency because initially people are like let it be. We are like we go very slowly, but then in end we realize that we need to pick up the speed. So it would be better that initially only we start with consistency, and third tip would be follow your tips because everything you told the exam was almost like that only.
Okay,
Yes.
the important questions, the important concepts that we had marked
Yes,
in the
yes,
book.
everything was
Okay.
there. Like almost 75% of the paper was from the important concepts which you made us mark.
Any one mistake that you made and you do not want any other a student to repeat that in their journey?
One mistake, yes, it was that it was this only, that initially I was going very slowly,
Hmm.
and I realized that thing in around March 10. So that was, I think, very late. If I could have realized it little earlier, so things would have been more good for me.
You would have got
Yes.
time to revise liquidity
Yes,
risk and
I think I could have done one more revision if I have if I would have got some extra time, or I would have realized it earlier.
what is the quartile that you have got?
I got two, three, two, 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 and two. Like in
Okay.
five books I got two, and in credit risk I got three.
Second quartile is very good because it shows that you have prepared for that book. But
Yes, I
credit risk,
prepared.
because of things of the solving part, it gone
Yes,
down.
I was a little weak in that solving part, in credit risk especially, and market risk also. Solving is there, but I could prepare it nicely from that question bank.
Okay. Okay.
Yes,
Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. I mean, this conversation is going to be really helpful for a lot of students who are going to prepare for FRM level 2 in the future. And they would give,
yes,
like the tips that you said, they will start early. They will be having a
yes,
consistent speed. All of this will help them to plan their preparation properly. So thank you very
yes.
much for taking out time
Thank
and talking to us.